Great. So we're live. Okay, so how do you determine time and money to allocate to product backlogs? Developers always seem to go over time, find new issues, and request more time and money. Rock, thank you for the question. So the main overall thing here where you're saying, developers are finding ways to go over time and finding new issues and things like that, being very, very clear about what needs to get fixed is huge. It can't be overstated. The idea that you are asking for a specific thing and that they're saying, hey, we can do that, but then also, hey, there's this other thing, and hey, there's this other thing. In a way, they're helpful because they are drawing your attention to something else that's broken, but at the same time, you're feeling like, well, I didn't need to get that fixed, I just needed to get this other thing fixed. So what you can possibly do is you could say, hey, here's the entire plan, I want to make sure that this entire thing works, and you start listing out these specific directives for everything that you need to get done. If you're not thorough here, if you're not super thorough, over thorough, being very, very super clear on this exactly, this exactly, this exactly, then it leaves more room for them to be finding other things that are going on. Now, that said, it's good to be finding these extra things. And I would suggest as a side note that you have somebody who's helping you do QA, which is quality assurance, making sure the product is working as it should, making sure that everything is moving forward properly. But it's very difficult to build any software that doesn't have glitches. So depending on what's important to you, if you just want a software that just does these things and you're not worried about those other glitches, then that's fine. But if you do a little bit more work up front, where you're working with them just on the scope, you're working just on this is exactly what I need only, and then you start drawing lines around exactly what needs to be done. Now there should be a time for you to be able to just understand the different things that are coming through. Let's say that you want to add a new page that does some new kind of functionality, and you've thought about it halfway, or you've kind of just, you thought you've been fully clear on just I need this thing to do this thing, but then as they move forward to do it, they find something else that they didn't realize ahead of time because they didn't understand the entire scope. They didn't spend too much time on just really thoroughly understanding, okay, this is exactly what you need, this is exactly how to do it, this is exactly what's going to happen. And then then you're leaving way more room for them to catch and find these other things, because as they start spending time just trying to do this one thing, they're coming across all these other things. Now, I've been in those situations too, on the other end, where as a developer, I've been asked to do a certain thing, and then when I go to do that certain thing, I start uncovering, oh, there's this other thing that I didn't realize. I couldn't have seen that other thing because I just didn't know what I didn't know. So in a way, it's a help that the developer is bringing this up to you, but in a way, it's really frustrating because you're saying, I don't want to pay for these extra things, I just want to build the thing that I asked for. So I think that you could go about this multiple different ways, right? So you could either spend more time with the developer up front doing more due diligence for, let's talk through everything that this requires. Let's talk through, what the database upgrade is going to be, what the functions are going to do. This function does this, that function does that. The information here is being sent, and then the information comes back. What is inside the information? How does the information need to get processed? The simple fact of even just submitting a form from one page and having that go into a website and then having that information come back saying, hey, everything's good, we got the information. Just in that one transaction alone, there are so many details that can get messed up, that can be done wrong, that can somebody can be short-sighted and miss something. Just in that one very simple function, there's a lot of other things that are happening. So a good developer will be thinking about this stuff ahead of time, will be notifying you about it, will be asking you good questions and really locking down, hey, here's what we're doing and here's what we need to watch out for. But there's always a possibility that they're going to uncover something else if they haven't been as thoughtful, or if they haven't been able to spend as much time to go through it. Specifically, if you're not paying them to do scoping, if you're not paying them to make the product checklist for what needs to be done, if you're not paying them for that, then they can't spend multiple hours just sitting there and thinking through every little thing, because they haven't been in, they're not inside it, working on it, tinkering with it. They're just trying to, they're one layer separated from it, not understanding every single piece that's already there. So then once they finally start going in, they go into the software, they peel back the layers, and then they go, oh my gosh, this other stuff is going on. Then they're going to discover some other things that are happening. Now, you could do potentially one sort of method that I've heard before, where I was told this story by somebody who hired a developer, that developer gave them a warranty on that functionality for a specific amount of time. So say they're asking for a certain thing to be done, that developer said, okay, we can do that, and I'll give you a warranty for this amount of time. I'll fix any glitches or anything within that in this amount of time, and then past that amount of time you'll have to pay. But because they had that guarantee, because they had that amount of time, they knew that the developer was going to get it right the first time, or at least be super thorough, because the developer wouldn't want to have to go back and do it multiple times. And then it's better for you, because then as you're getting it back and you're going, hold on, this is a little bit different, this is a little bit weird, what's going on, that you're able to just get that fixed. Now, if you're talking about, you want to make your product better, and you've got these certain things that you kind of want to do, and it's kind of this always this rotating list. I've also heard it be recommended to just cut out the backlog, to just cut it off, and if it hasn't been done already, then just don't do it. Now that when I first saw that kind of advice, I was thinking, oh gosh, no, don't, if you put it on the list, there's a reason it's on the list. But there is some credence to the idea of, if you don't have to fix it right now, then maybe it's just not as important as you think it is. And if it's going to stay on the list for a month, 2 months, 3 months, and not get fixed, then maybe it's just not that important. And so I'm not sure if I'm actually giving this advice or just trying to kind of drop it in your ear as an idea. Because when I first heard that, I was thinking, oh my goodness, how could you possibly delete something from a list where you put it on there for a reason? You put it on there for a reason. Something needed to be fixed or something needed to be upgraded. But maybe it's just not as important as you think it is. So there are probably some things on the product backlog that you just don't need to do. Or if you've got an hour of the developer's time to do this, or an hour of the developer's time to do that, that instead of doing the backlog stuff, maybe there's something more pressing. And in that case, then you just forget about the backlog stuff, and you just don't care about it. So what would help me more is if you can clarify a little bit more about your software. What are the backlogs? I'm trying to understand exactly, when you're saying that they're trying to request more time and money. Are they trying to help you build a better product, and so they need to be compensated for that? Or are they making up issues, or you feel like they're making up issues in the same way that I would if I was taking my car in to a mechanic, right? I want you to only fix this one thing, and they go, hey, we have a package and we'll give you this whole thing. And I go, no, I don't want the whole package. I just want you to fix that one thing. In that way, I feel like, no, I just only want you to fix this one thing, even though they're looking out for me in a way. They're looking out for me, saying, hey, if you just want to replace this one piece, there's 5 other pieces there that we should just replace while we're there. Yeah, it's going to be more money, but then you're not going to have that issue for the other things. And I'm just thinking, no, I just want the bare minimum. We're both right in a way. I just want done what I want done, because I don't want to pay for the whole thing. And that's going to be great logic until my car is dead on the side of the road. And now I realize I should have just paid to get that stuff done. So it's a difficult give and take, where, like, yes, they're selling me more than what I need right now. The car mechanic's saying, hey, let's replace all 6 instead of just 1. I'm going, no, there's only one that's broken, so just change the one. And they're thinking, well, the other pieces are old too, so we might as well fix them so you won't have an issue. And then also we get more money, like we'll be able to charge you more. But then they're also helping me stay off the side of the road. And with software, the parallel with software is that if you don't fix certain things, if you ignore certain things, if you don't think they're big problems, and you just go, oh, these developers keep on telling me all these things that need to be fixed, and you just say, no, don't do that, just only do the things I'm asking for, then you leave yourself open for difficulties later. because you're not attending to certain things that can then drag you down later. So you're getting this train moving, but then you're introducing issues along the way that you don't attend to, and eventually, when something breaks down, it can have more catastrophic consequences because you've been ignoring that stuff. So without getting into super detail, it's hard for me to give exact advice here. So if you can go through and list out for me, give me a specific example. This one thing is broken. This one thing is broken. This is what we asked for, and kind of here's what they came back with. That will help me give you more targeted, better advice, and I will be able to help you further. So thanks again for the question, and please send more questions anytime. Really appreciate you being here. Thank you.